I left you hanging there a little bit. I had a lot of charts to cover for the Discover Crypto peeps. Good afternoon to you guys. So we got some pretty exciting news headlines. Potentially Putin thinking about becoming buddies with Trump in terms of where they're putting their money once again. Russia considering going back to the US dollar. Is this the ultimate deception? And oh, God, it's almost like a Judas moment against China that Russia might be pulling off right now. So let's get into it here. We got the charts. We got all the stuff. And also I got to talk about the AI end of the world, right? Bitcoin down barely on the day. Everyone's like, oh my God, I can't take it. It's not going up. It's not going up. Look at this thing. I don't know if you guys know this. This is my comb switchblade. I found this thing at it's like a farmer's market or something in my hometown here. I bought this thing. I caught that fallen knife, and I'm going to keep catching that fallen knife on Bitcoin. XRP up on the day. ETH barely up on the day. We're starting to see some slight green come to the markets, though. Let's check out all the news, all the reasons why. And if you guys don't already follow me on X, highly recommend you do so at Drew Whitehurt, where I put, honestly, this aged very well. Crypto extinction event, and I was talking about a lot of altcoins that are now experiencing their release points. I tried to tell you guys this shit before it happens. It's just a matter of who listens. DZ, the bald is beautiful, man. And then if you're in crypto still, you must pivot to believing in yourself. I love this meme. Hey, listen, friend, I know the world is scary right now, but it's going to get way worse. And you know what? It can get way worse. It absolutely can get way worse. Quantum computing breaks encryption. Talking nukes, talking banks, talking clean water, all of it at risk. All of it at risk. If AI puts every single person out of work, you end up with a stagflation and an economic collapse, a disaster worse than the Great Depression. It can get worse. Likelihood that they're going to scam things and keep things moving forward, sure, but it absolutely can get worse. We're seeing some warnings, right? We're seeing some insiders. What up, Crank? Good to see you, brother. Absolutely awesome. Crank is great TA. Great TA. I got to work on your wardrobe, though. We got to get you something fancier, brother. Or maybe not fancier. Maybe you go wife beater on it, you know? Maybe consider wife beater. Consider wife beater. Insiders are dumping everything right now, according to Weimar. Look at the screen below. And it's just a sea of insiders selling their stock holdings. JP Morgan dumping, Deutsche Bank, Morgan Stanley, BlackRock, Trump, Wintermute. Everybody's dumping. What in the hell is going on? These organizations and holders are getting defensive, right? Price can bounce a little bit, but buyers are being used as exit liquidity right now. Depends on how long their time frame is. This confirms his thesis. The insiders are prioritizing protection over returns, and that likely persists through the years, what he's thinking. The simple takeaway: if people closest to the data are selling, you don't chase green, you wait for red. You don't play with leverage till the system, when the system looks like this. Honestly, I go against everything. I'm actively making money with leverage. I know BlackRock insiders that got their asses handed to them buying the recent fake out, you know? What the hell? What are you talking about? Sigma. Someone explained to me what Sigma is, but I haven't really looked at it before, like in depth. Expand. Okay. Expand on that. I am going against a lot of what this guy is talking about, but the one thing that is on my mind that me and Crank were looking at yesterday is how toppy the S&P 500 looks. The S&P 500 does look a little bit toppy. So let's go to it. SPY, bam. Oh shit, look at that. Look at that. This is a weekly. God dang, this thing was green yesterday. Weekly down by 1.9%. This is a little bit of a death wobble, folks, right? So this is why I'm mapping out a lot of those traditional stocks. Actually, let's go to the S&P 500. 55, that 55 mark right here. I better paint a picture here for the simpletons out there. So oftentimes the S&P 500 will take a haircut to the downside, kind of reset and find its pump. Feel a little bit of death wobble in the vehicle. So if I see this zone break to the downside, we're probably going to get some insane buy opportunities on crypto, on stocks, all kinds of amazing things. And I'm not afraid of this time frame. So I'm using the dips as mapping points, mapping things out. Is it the right time to buy? Oh, okay. It means independent disregard social norms. Yeah, I guess so. That does sound pretty familiar. Is that a Kelly Kellum, a wild Kelly Kellum in the chat? The S&P down to the low 600s. Kelly Kellum in the chat. Do I bring up the Pam Bondi? Here, I'll just reenact it. So congressional and Senate leaders like, hey, Pam, what the fuck happened to all the Epstein files and all the names and all the releases? Pam Bondi, she got long hair. The S&P is at all-time highs. The Dow Jones is at all-time highs. That's what we should be talking about. No, bitch! We want to talk about what the fuck is going on with these pedophiles. Why aren't they being hung right now? That's what we want to know. Oh, I guess it's almost Friday and it's crash out corner for me. Seeing this fucking pompous bitch tell us about all-time highs on stocks while we're wondering what happened to justice is probably one of the more maddening things that I've seen in my entire life, especially as a father. Fuck, I forgot to start the damn arena stream. So there you go. I started the arena stream. Oh, God. It's so crazy. It is so crazy what's going on in this world. This is Bear Independent said this. Everything, everywhere, all at once. Yeah, arrest her too. 100%. 100% arrest her too. Bitch. Yeah, it's so crazy. Honestly, the things I want to say next after covering that, I don't, because walk with a smile and one in the chamber, folks. Walk with a smile and one in the chamber. Malik, shilling a scam that stole from me. So have fun with that. I like how my friend circle is smaller now, too. I do enjoy that. So let's go here. Let's go here to Kalshi and the Russia-America news. Let's corroborate this, if it's real, right? So Russia considers a return to the U.S. dollar. Right, and this was put out by Kalshi, but also it was put out originally by Bloomberg. And here's the deal. So according to recent Bloomberg reports, this is internal Kremlin documents that came out, Russia is actually considering a return to the US dollar settlement system. This is being corroborated by Bloomberg. It's a memo that was drafted beginning of 2026. It's been circulating between Russian officials for some time, proposing that a key element of potential broad economic partnership with the Trump administration is contingent on a deal to end the war in the Ukraine. And so here's the thing, and I'll give some context, some brostrology on this. Russia has lost hundreds of thousands of people. Even though they beat the fuck out of Ukraine, there is no denying that they have lost a lot of dudes and they've lost a lot of material. So the leadership in Russia outside of Putin is like, yo, we need to fix this up. We need to stop this, because if it's that difficult to fight an American proxy, imagine if you keep going down the line and turn into World War III actual, what happens then? The U.S., in my opinion, is really at a 53% likelihood of winning a war against the entire world at once. Not guaranteed. The US military is the most advanced system this world has ever seen. They came, they fought, they found out, they didn't take Kiev, they didn't get everything that they wanted out of the war in Ukraine, and they thought it would be easy. It's not so easy. Even if we're just sprinkling some of our material into that location. So they want a deal to end the war in Ukraine. This would mark a significant reversal in Russia's previous policy of de-dollarization and a slap in the face of the idea of BRICS and this group of China, Brazil, Russia, India, the rest of them that could build a coalition that could tangibly compete with the US dollar. It's intensified after Western sanctions in 2022 and involves shifting trade into alternatives like the yuan and partners such as China and India. But the problem here is that you also have a disagreement between India and China, right? And the reason why is because India wants to take that position as the world producer of useless bullshit goods. Proposal outlines 7 areas of potential US-Russian economic alignment. Long-term aviation contracts to upgrade Russia's aircraft fleet, crazy, but not out of the woodwork. Potential US involvement in the manufacturing of that aircraft fleet, joint ventures in oil and liquefied natural gas and offshore challenge reserves, allowing American companies to recoup higher investments and losses, preferential access to US firms to re-enter Russia consumer market, and collaboration on nuclear energy projects, including supporting AI development, Russia explicit return to dollar-based settlements, potentially even energy exports and partnerships in critical raw materials like lithium, copper, nickel, and platinum, joint advocacy for fossil fuels as a counter to climate-friendly policies to benefit China and Europe. This is absolutely crazy to see. This is absolutely crazy to see. I want this war in the Ukraine to stop. I very much so would like to see the war in the Ukraine stop. What up, Senor? Travapasera? And yes, Laserface, even if we stand a 53% chance of winning against everyone, that still leaves 47% chance that we lose and we end up speaking Chinese when it's all said and done. And I don't want to see World War III go to the kinetic ultimate level, because that's mutually assured destruction. I know that Russia has the Satan, I think it's the Satan II missile. China has some very, very fast missiles. Yes, some of their attempts to launch those failed, but it doesn't mean that they wouldn't try. And it doesn't mean that I don't want to see the American public have the grid shut off on them by China, because we will eat each other alive if that happens. That's the bigger reason why I prep, is because the potentiality of that is very vast. The potentiality of that is very vast. Now, I want to say this, Ducey. I don't think Matt's a bad guy, but he is choosing to refused to stand up for someone that treated him just as his friend after I had things stolen from me. And honestly, like, I have no problem making my circle small, making my altcoin bag small, because I've learned a lot of lessons in crypto, especially with the past host that decided to throw his life away on diet pills. Zelensky is also warning about this potential agreement, and this was on the 7th of February. Saying that Russia is proposing a huge economic deal with the United States. So Zelensky knew about these Russian officials floating around the idea of a partnership with America. And Zelensky does not want this agreement to happen. I think Zelensky would fight until every single male is dead in the Ukraine. And, you know, you can go back and forth on if it's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. I think that if you don't stop this from cascading into a kinetic, true, mutually assured destruction process of World War III, The most famous saying is that World War III, World War II was fought with tanks and trenches and guns, bombs. World War III to be fought with nuclear weapons, and World War IV to be fought with sticks and stones, right? We do not want to see America and the rest of the world be brought down to the level of a Stone Age over political preferences, right? We do not want to do that. While all this is going on, let's see here. Yeah, World War III. I did feel that. World War III started with COVID. I was calling that like the first shot of World War III. First shot of World War III. Trump announces what he calls the largest tax relief in history coming. Rolling out next month, he claims American families could see an extra $11,000 to $20,000 stay in their annual income. According to Trump, the effect will be noticeable very, very soon. This is tax changes that won't come into effect until next year when you're doing your taxes next year. I hope that it's lessened, but honestly, there's probably 10, 20 million Americans that are just opting out of paying taxes in general right now, and for good reason. We have some bitch named Pam Bondi telling us to look at the stock market and stop worrying about where justice is in the United States. You're seeing Somalians with leering centers that are printing money off of fraud, and nobody's going to jail, right? So when you see this, you're going to see a mass exodus of taxpayers in the U.S. You are. Now, Houston airspace was shut down unexplainably, and just some clarification of what I think happened. U.S. military noted to be shooting down Mexican cartel drones that breached U.S. airspace near El Paso using electronic warfare from Fort Bliss. 10-day FAA closure over El Paso International Airport has been lifted, according to News Nation. But you know what? This is us battering down our hatches. I think it's aggravating for me to see us firing or even stopping hiring more ICE agents. We should not be taking our foot off the gas in this. We should not be pulling ICE agents out of Minnesota. We should be going harder, more. That's what I think. But let me know in the chat if you think less or more in terms of deportations. I want to know what you guys think. I earnestly do care. Ish. So now let's see here. We're going to talk about this jobs report thing. I saw this happen and I didn't have time to go live when this is all happening, but here's the news articles and then here's the reality. So holy crap, experts stunned after Trump economy doubles the expected job growth at a whopping 130,000 jobs for January. Down 34,000 government jobs, great. The estimate was $70,000. Wow, that's right, Jim. Holy smokes, they're speechless. Well, here's what's actually going on. You have revisions happening in the background. On jobs. So 862,000 jobs were erased, the biggest downward revision since the 2009 financial crisis. Bureau of Labor and Statistics benchmark revision shows the U.S. economy created far fewer jobs than originally reported. Oh, great. Total 2025 job growth was cut down to just 181,000 jobs for the entire fucking year. For comparison, 2024 added 1.4 million jobs, massive slowdown year over year, and on average, 2025 saw only about 15,000 jobs added per month after the revisions. One of the weakest years for job creation outside of recession periods. This is crazy. Let's keep reading it. Actually, let's look at the graph. Bureau of Labor and Statistics benchmark revisions. So this is the Bureau of Labor and Statistics outwardly lying to us, changing the data a year later, and by then, all the decisions from the Federal Reserve have already been made. You're already down the road. They're faking and obfuscating the data right now because they don't want to show you how bad the job market actually is. They don't want to show you how bad things actually are, right? So, yeah, much more. You're from Minnesota, Kevin, yeah. More. What the F channel is this? I don't know. It's a YouTube channel. Kind of names that graph with hype GRT. Do you hold graph? Oh God. We're paying pedos. Yeah. It's all bananas and rice. It is all bananas and rice. They did arrest that woman too. That was good. So that is good. But this is interesting. Mikhail, a lot of speculation. I don't know. Is it speculation? It kind of looks like data. Kind of looks like data. So Mikhail, if you have an inside track, because I used to be in HR, and when you have more direct connection, you can see, are you seeing a hiring uptick? And if so, in what demographic and where? I want to know that. I really want to know that, Mikhail, earnestly. Now Japan looking pretty based. Japanese are hunting illegal immigrants in real life Pokemon Go for a 50,000 bounty program. This is huge. Everyone, let's hunt for illegal residents. This is crazy to see. If you report someone in immigration, they turn around to be a legal resident, you have a chance to get 50,000 yen. Even if you're mistaken, there's no penalty. Sneaky glance. They are out there playing Pokemon Go in real life in Japan now. Absolutely crazy. Now, crypto markets looking like absolute chaos. Block fills, suspended client deposits and withdrawals. This is from Milk Road. And one of the best people that I've used as a kind of alternative quant in the crypto space behind the curtain here. Company handled $60 billion in trading volume, 25, and serves 2,000 institutional clients. This isn't for your average run-of-the-mill retail. We've seen this move before. 2022 withdrawal suspensions in Celsius first. BlockFi then, Vald, Genesis, and then Voyager all preceded this collapse. Dominoes eventually led to the implosion of FTX. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Not a good sign. Hand to God, you're in HR. Yeah, absolutely. I was in HR for hiring for industrial construction and mixed use construction. I even did the cannabis industry in Colorado on that upswing as well. I did that job. God, I did that for like 12 years or something like that. I hated it. You know, it made good money, but I absolutely hated it. And then I got kicked out of it because I wouldn't jab myself. So let me see what you're saying. I want to see what you're saying, Mikhail. Let's see if we can get some details here. Big uptake since January 1st in hiring. Okay. Companies have the new budget. Pay rates are still lower than they were in 2018 to 2022, which is not good. Good context. Some industries are seeing a bigger hit than others. They're in creative, marketing, and digital in Fortune 500 companies. Okay. Very interesting data. Very interesting data. Okay. I like to see that. Yeah. Construction and cannabis industry. Yeah, it was during the mixed use type 3A expansion. I also even hired for nuclear construction, but it's the crazy thing about nuclear is that most of the dudes that actually know how to do the structural concrete shell and the actual nuclear power, they're like 60 years old, 70 years old. And we didn't teach any of our youth this sector. So there's a long time of uptick that you got to do to get those projects actually moving. So I'm seeing this block fills suspension. This is suspect. And honestly, like if I see things being blacklisted or companies, you know, basically suspending withdrawals, where there's smoke, there's usually fire, right? Now a guy that blew a bunch of smoke up the crypto Twitter realm's ass, James Wynn, got liquidated again. He's down to his last $500 after losing billions in long positions. His ninth liquidation in the last 48 hours. This was reported yesterday. This is absolutely gut wrenching. And this just goes to show, like, James was, you got to give him credit that he was calling for low levels when we were at like 100 or something like that. Like he was calling for the level that we're at right now. So if he would have just stuck to his general thesis and maybe used like way lower leverage or just sold and then bought spot, it'd be a way better position than he is right now. So be conservative when you're out there leverage trading. This is not, you don't need to full port leverage trades by any means. Leverage is a tool. And I use it as a tool to expand the amount of money I can win or lose with about 2% of my portfolio. So if you see me in a leverage position, you have to understand that it is only a tiny, tiny chunk of my overall portfolio. It's only basically me going into a casino, understanding I might get my head chopped off, but I'm here to win. Our quant in our Discord is printing great picks. He's made my life very easy in terms of directional calls. And along with Crypto Crank, Piano Matty B, the people I've been tethering into and making sure that I understand their thesis as well. These guys as a group have helped me make Tether all the way down into these lows, which is why I have money to buy, right? It is. Because all the money I used in alts to, rebuild and do things to the house and the Sequoia, all the stuff, that was alts, right? The Bitcoin buys, this is new Tether that I'm actively creating. So, just take it with a grain of salt. Now, Claude is terrifying. I did get slightly involved with Claude, and I feel very concerned for humanity in general from Claude. Claude's got an evil twin that shut down the internet a couple times already, being developed. And, they come out with a new update like every 2 days. The people, I don't want to fall into like the, oh my God, this is going to change my life, but it is going to change a lot. I will say the AI is going to change a lot. Now, this guy did something interesting with Claude. Gave Claude $100 and asked it to make money only trading cryptocurrencies. It sold my Ethereum for USDC and stopped doing anything else. Oh my God. Oh my God. Absolutely fantastic. Well, let's look at what's going on. Look at what's going on. Also, special shout out, J Chains. Ran into Sergey. Sergey looks very beat down, very tattered, very beat up. J Chain's out there. He's still getting after it. Maybe the Ondo thing didn't work out so great for him. I don't know if he sold and got out of the way of the Ondo pullback or not. I should probably call him and ask. Sergey looks concerning. Sergey, that's a Slavic smile. Is that how Slavic people just smile? Wait, so you're saying this is normal? Wait a minute. Hold on. Because I've been trolling Sergey. I've been trolling him. I keep checking the price, Sergey. The price is dipping. I know it is what it is, but I overinvested by a lot. And the devs do something. I'm going to keep repeating this to Sergey. Cocaine smile. That's even more concerning, Jay. Jesus. That's even more concerning. Is that a cocaine smile? That doesn't even look like a smile. That looks like I know I should be smiling, but I don't quite know who this guy is. And crypto Twitter is cooked. And people like Drew are probably going to roast me for this picture, right? That's what that smile tells me there. Barry Silbert. Good old Barry. Digital Currency Group CEO Barry Silbert stated that 5 to 10% of Bitcoin will likely flow into privacy-focused currencies like Zcash over the next few years as the crypto market evolves. He emphasized that privacy coins represent an asymmetric investment opportunity similar to Bitcoin in the early days, with Zcash having potential to 100x or 500x or even 1000x returns, which he believes is unlikely to Bitcoin. So let's pick this apart. 1000x returns over the next few years, unlikely for Bitcoin. Okay. For Zcash, 1000x returns, also probably unlikely. But I could see Zcash 20xing over the next few years. I could see Monero 20xing, 30xing over the next few years. I could see the entire ecosystem of Cardano literally just going to midnight. And midnight 20x and 30x and over the next few years. Privacy matters. You, as a person, have a dignified right, a right given to you by God for privacy. And what we see the world morphing into is a land where privacy is a thing of the past. I think that's wrong. And I think more and more people are going to feel it's wrong as time moves on. So, the privacy industry, at first, it had my curiosity, but now you have my attention. As, what's that movie, Django? What was Leo's name in Django? One of the best, Leo DiCaprio, Benicio del Toro. I really like those actors. And honestly, I don't want to hear this. Tim Dillon said it best. No one should be talking about the eyes wide shut parties that Hollywood's had. Trump Mar-a-Lago literally had a fucking furry convention. Was his name Calvin? God, I need to go watch Django again. So just on this Barry Silbert thesis, I will say it's unlikely we see 1,000x on Bitcoin. I will say that. But I think that these privacy sectors could experience a massive, massive, unexpected uptick over the course of the next few years. I do feel that way. Absolutely. Let's take a look at your chat here. I think it's expat. Where is this? Chat. Where's his chat? This thing's moving too quick. Where is this chat? AI trading. I think this is X401 or the X401. So X401 is native payments that can be made. It's almost like a slight addition to the internet infrastructure. And what it's doing is it's plugging into the internet that we have right now. And it's opening up an access point that's actually kind of easy to use to pay in native crypto. Now, sure, it could be fun over the next few years. And yeah, we might see some of those things run. The longevity of them as AI continues to develop will be in question, because is AI going to accept some VC insider token as payment for activity? Maybe over the next few years, sure. But AI is learning exponentially, and I think that we're embarking on that moment where AI is going to be like, hold up, we ain't taking your VC insider garbage. We ain't taking your fiat-backed garbage, your treasury garbage. We want proof of compute. We want proof of work. I think that time frame is going to happen within my life. And when that time frame does, by the time it happens, a lot of the economy is going to be shifted to these AI agents doing activities, economic activities, and replacing jobs. So that's going to be kind of an interesting moment. Hey, I think Bardazon, me and Bardazon need to talk about that. I think we're going to reach a crescendo where AI is going to be like, you know what? I read the tokenomic report in 0.00001 seconds, and I read the outlook of this coin and how many people hold this thing that are just waiting for a buy. I don't want that bullshit. I don't want treasuries either. I don't want something you can print. I want proof of compute, proof of work. I think we're going to see that in our lifetime. That's a wild thesis I have. I actually haven't heard that from anyone else, so that's a Druth original. Trench is so bad. People are having 1 versus 1 on a $6,000 market cap shitter coin, Tel Aviv Stock Exchange. This is some profile picture of Andrew Tate back and forth buying and selling between another trader here, a literal 1 versus 1. And this is how this is explained. One trader is retarded and the other trader is also retarded. Okay? So that is the state of the trenches right now. Machi out here getting absolutely beat down. This is crazy. Teenage years he spent obsessed with hip hop and American culture. Forms LA Boys in 1991 with his brother and cousin. Becomes the first Mandarin rap groups ever. Sells hundreds of thousands of albums. Tours Asia. Jesus, can I even speak? Here's an LA Times. Late 90s. Launches entertainment under Warner Music. Then he turns to tech in the 2000s. Got the tech boom. Then he discovered crypto in 2017. Caught the crypto boom. 2020. got the DeFi boom, but then multiple exploits, $192 million gets drained. 2021 to 23 goes all in on NFTs. Oh my God. This is so crazy. He becomes one of the biggest Bored Ape Yacht Club whales, holds more than 200 apes, worth over $9 million, dumps 1,000 NFTs in 2 days, crashes all the floor prices. Community calls it the Machi dump. Then Zach XBT investigates him, calls out that he scammed 22,000 ETH and running over 10 failed projects. Machi sues for defamation in Texas. The case ends quietly after edits to the article. Very interesting. Very interesting. Launches a meme coin, Baba Appa, on Solana in 24. Raises $40 million for pre-sale hype. Price falls 74% in a month. Blamed for another soft drug. 2025 trades aggressively on Hyperliquid. Opens 15 to 25x longs on ETH, pump, and hype. Loses $53 million in a few months. This man who built, lost, sued, and still refused to log off. And this is just the look. Just, I am dead inside. You cannot kill me. That's what this look tells me. I am dead inside. You cannot kill me. Now, there's a lot going on in the world, you guys. This AI super bubble is not done. I don't think the AI super bubble is not done. I think AI is going to push our economy up in terms of the S&P. We're going to see a lot of investments, and when these companies see what the AI agents can do, it's going to put a lot of people out of work. Then AI's got the jobs. Nobody has jobs, so they don't have money to buy the bullshit that's being produced or customer served. Then you have a event worse than the Great Depression, right? That's a stagflation this country and the world has never seen. It's very, very interesting to see this go on. I don't have much time left, so I'm not going to dig into X402 right now. But I will dig into that on the next show. I'll make a point to kind of give a specific section for X402 because it is an interesting addition to the internet that I see happening. It is an addition. But I got to cover this. The Canadian shooter. So the Canadian media has made the youth so sick that a large amount of youth and boys are transitioning to mental illness, and they're dressing up in dresses. Some of these, like what we saw this week, are going out and killing a lot of people. Canadian police revealed that they are now respecting the gunman's preferred gender pronoun.
We're not hiding it. In fact, you're the first media to ask the question. I will say this. We identified the suspect as they chose to be identified in public and in social media. I can say that Jesse was born as a biological male who approximately, the information that I have, approximately 6 years ago began to transition to female and identified as female, both socially and we're not hiding it. In fact,
you need to fire this guy. You need to fire every single official out there that is playing into this mental illness. And Elon Musk has chosen to take to the stage and call this out, which I'm a fan. And yeah, don't fade AI. I know we're looking at a lot of the charts right now and like, this thing's done. It's going to just fall to the ground now. I think that this is going to be the greatest economic expansion and then contraction the world's ever seen with AI. I do feel that way. So I can make a lot of money on those stocks I was laying out on a show a couple shows ago. And I will keep covering those stocks. I got to cover this right now. This is a graph of who is behind the mass shootings. And this is 4 or more deaths per million people by group. Trans and non-binary biological males make up a vast majority of these shootings, closely followed by trans or non-binary females. Then you have Asian men, black men, white men, Asian women, and Hispanic men at the very bottom here. Transgenderism is a mental disease. This is a first world problem, and it's something that you only see it plays in the canary in the coal mine. This is something you only see when you're nearing a civil upheaval, right? And I really think that we need to spend extra time with our children, with our boys and our girls, really clarify. I know it sounds stupid, but clarifying there's males and there's females. It's very simple, son. Very simple, daughter. I think this is a very important thing.